Hi, family. So here's a hell of a last couple of days. As of this recording, we are into the late morning of our election having been held here. Wisconsin kicked ass. We did. And I want to get something clear because I know I've got a lot of new people on this channel. And I know that the members who were here from before may not necessarily remember or understand. I don't do politics. I don't. You might be shocked to hear that, right? You're like, oh my God, all this stuff on the community section, right? The community post, because I try to keep most of it there. I do. I'm merciless on my other social media channels. Here's what some know. Once that man is gone, once he's gone and out of the insanity, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so happy because I got like other stuff to do. You know what I mean? But here's what you should know about me. This is something that is non-negotiable, and it always has been. Always. When we put elected officials into place, my expectation or the expectation of every responsible, informed citizen is that they will do the job we put them there for. And then I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go out there and do what I've done. I mean, I've literally, and I do mean this quite literally, I have spent countless hours every single morning, every single day, almost without exception. I have gotten up and as part of my morning routine, I have gone in there and done my job as a citizen. Now, why did I do that? I've had a couple of people say to me, why? What difference? Oh, yeah. Guess what just happened in Wisconsin, right? So, not sure if y'all know this. Ripon, Wisconsin is the birthplace of the Republican Party. Yeah, the birthplace. Okay? So, for us to have turned this blue, which is what we just did yesterday, it's astonishing, right? And it's not that the Republicans like the Democratic or the Democrats who are running for office. That's not it. They're acting as responsible citizens, unlike effing Congress, by the way, who's sitting there stepping on their dicks and doing nothing and have been for a long effing time. We all know that. So it's like, well, all right, you're not going to do your job. Guess what? We're cleaning house, and we mean that literally, right? That's what the vote was about. This is not about party for me. This is not about party for a lot of people anymore. It might have been at one point for some folks, perhaps, but not anymore. This is about getting rid of this man, getting him out of there, period. And if you won't effing impeach him like you should be doing, Congress, we all know it. The man, yesterday, the entire world held its breath while he let us believe that within hours he was going to start World War III. I put a meme out there. I'll share it on this episode. How's it feel? How's it feel for you normies to go like this? You know what? That's what it's like. That's what it's like to be fully aware. A lot of people like to call it mental illness. I call it mental dis-ease because that's much more accurate. Anybody that is sane in this world right now? Yeah, okay. I don't want to sit down to dinner with you, frankly. Look, we have got to turn this ship around, and Wisconsin spoke loudly. We are done. I mean, we weren't the only state that spoke, but this is where I live. And so now let me get to, I've had, like I said, a few people say, wow, you almost seemed obsessed. No, here's what you're not getting. Launching this channel. I could use all that time. I spend countless hours on this channel, and it's necessary. It will not succeed unless I do. But I also spend countless hours on, first, in the mornings, on this mission. And what is this mission? I have been a general, and I say general because that's who I am now. It's who I've become since I started. I didn't start out as a general, but boy, it didn't take long because A lot of people just didn't want to get involved. But I've been a general almost every single day, and I've been out there, and here's what needs to be understood. As bad as social media might be for a lot of things, we couldn't have done this without it. That man would have gotten away with what he was trying to do. And that is why he's trying to shut down all of the communication channels. Do you understand? That's why he's trying to shut down the free voices. He doesn't want you to know. He doesn't want you to know anything but what he says the truth is. I don't remember who said it, but somebody put it just so beautifully. Believe those who seek the truth, doubt those who find it. This morning I was on again. I'm just mercilessly pushing back on the few, and there are so much less now. I've watched this since 2016. I've watched the emoticon reactions. The comments help as well, but it's the emoticon reactions that are so telling. And I watched in 2016 it go from very few for Trump to all of a sudden it just was overwhelmingly him. And now it's come back. It's like whatever spell he had on, like, well, you can see it in Marjorie Taylor Greene. You just want to go to her, duh. You know, all of them, but whatever. As long as they get it. Before we all go off the rails, right? How'd that feel? That sucked yesterday, didn't it? You freaking ain't right, it did. It is, remember that. That is what it's like for someone who is, we call them empaths. Most all of empaths result from complicated trauma throughout their lives. That's what it's like for someone who is hyper aware. Hyper. Yeah. And y'all like to call it mental illness, which is just kind of really funny in so many ways. I mean, really. We live in the twilight zone, and we're the ones who are mentally ill. Okay. So the other part is that I have several, and I do mean several, social media pages, right? And they're advocacy pages, advocacy sites that I've been building for years. They're not monetized, not any of them. I've just been on my mission. Grandparents, right? Grandparents who have been, well, first it was alienated, then it was ghosted, then it was estranged, and now it's no contact. It just depends on when your kid came into the trend, right? I've been on that mission, and I lost my kid to suicide. So suicide prevention and awareness. So mental health, mental illness, mental dis-ease, it matters a lot to me. When it came to this here, in addition to the obvious trauma we're all under in this country, what a lot of you don't know, or perhaps don't care about, is that part of those pages, a couple of them on social media, are worldwide. I mean, worldwide. And I've had people from all over the world just thank me time and time again for keeping them updated, because they're terrified. They're freaking terrified. We got a nutcase as the president, for God's sake. So I keep them informed, and I make memes, and I mean, I am effing merciless, because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to tell me that they get to determine what my daughter or my granddaughters decide for their own bodies. You can go fuck yourself, right? Before T-Rump, the only thing anyone ever heard from me as far as politics was that. That was it. I have always stood firmly on that. And let me tell you something. Sometimes it's pretty freaking hard not to get nasty about it. I went and held the hand of a loved one who got an abortion. She had to have that abortion. She needed that abortion. And it tore her to pieces. I mean, it did. She was emotionally devastated, right? And then she was able to have the life that she had started and wanted. She was able to do that. And it's a beautiful life. I mean, very full. She gets tons of credit for all kinds of things that are successful in her life. But now she's anti-abortion because she married into the Catholic Church. You have to understand, or maybe you don't, but I absolutely cannot tolerate hypocrisy. I lived in a foster home for 8 years where we went to church 3 times a week, and then we were taken home and beaten and raped. So I don't do hypocrisy at all. And I do struggle with my mouth, clearly. It's got me in trouble a lot. However, it's also a major asset. And I'm going to talk, I promised not long, actually a few days from now, I'm going to be doing an episode on BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about some of the assets that come along with that type of disorder. Once that disorder is reined in and regulated for the most part. I'm absolutely going to do what I intended to do from day one of this channel, which is to be authentic and honest and in your effing face if you try to tell me, my daughters, or my granddaughters what to do with their bodies. Yeah, I don't care who you are. I do not care. This is where I get so pissed off, really. I have never, ever had an issue with anybody believing, that is their belief. They believe that from the time there's conception, by the way, for all you Catholics out there, it wasn't always that way. Surprise! That's actually a rather recent decision. Look, I don't have a problem with you believing that. But why do you have a problem stepping back and letting her live her life? And if you really believe she's going to live in or burn in hell, well, then she burns in hell. Why do you make it your business? There's such judgment that goes along with, I cannot abide that kind of, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I just wanted to make this episode because I am first thrilled with I am so proud of my Wisconsin neighbors. I'm so proud of my neighbors. Seriously, when this whole thing went down with Musk and he came to the state and he was going to give $1 million, $2 million drawings, which by the way were rigged, I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure because here I was in this deeply red Republican state where the party had been born, and oh my God. And then when I woke up and found out, they said, no, our vote is not for sale. It was like, yes! So I was pretty sure it would happen again. But by God, I'll tell you what, I didn't expect almost a 2-to-1 or a 2-to-1, whatever it is now. They're still tallying the numbers. This isn't politics for me. Never has been. Get that man out of office and we'll focus on everything else trauma related. How's that? Sound good? All right. Thanks for listening.